Mike Huber, lead columnist, team hitting specialist for Moneyball HItter Magazine. Our research is now in. We have done our research on all the major league teams and why they have not been hitting, and hitting was at its worst in 2014 since 1972. That's team batting averages and especially team slugging percentages. So I kind of, as a team hitting specialist myself, I kind of knew what the problem was, but I wanted to go in and try to figure out more specific details as to why hitting is getting worse at the major league level on down. So it's just not at the major league level, it's at the minor league level, it's at the college level, the high school level, on down. Because really the information from the major leagues trickles on down to everybody else. And hitting is not at a good place right now. Not that the popularity of baseball is bad, but as far as hitting is concerned, it's getting harder for everybody, including the major leaguers. In our research, over 90% of the teams in Major League Baseball right now have gotten worse in their team batting average and team slugging percentage at the same time. 90% of them. The other percentages either stayed the same or there were only like 2 teams that got any better. Why is this? Is the pitching just that good? We cannot say that at all, because good hitters make good adjustments no matter who's pitching to them. Maybe the pitching is a little bit better, but for hitting to go down 20 points in a team batting average is where it's normally at. Okay, so normally they're around 265, 270, and they're at 245, 250. That is a big change. And the same with slugging percentages. They're down 30 to 50 points in slugging percentages. So something's going on. So, as I predicted, I believe it's the information that players are getting from the minor leagues on up that is stalemating them. And the hitting instructors for Major League Hitting, did you know that about half of them are pretty well known in the baseball community? Okay? They could be regarded as statesmen for the game, hitting gurus, okay? Just well-known characters who have been put on a pedestal as to knowing a lot of knowledge about hitting, or being experts or gurus. Just to name a few, some of the main gurus: Dave Hudgens of the Mets, who's now with Houston; John Maley, the Florida Marlins, who's now with the Chicago Cubs; Kevin Long with the Yankees, who's now with the Mets. These 3 guys in particular, and there's more, but guys like this, who are noted gurus, who get pranced around from convention to convention to talk about hitting, these guys have come in last place. Their teams have come in last place within the last couple of years in hitting. If you are a guru, or you're supposed to know a lot about hitting, that should never happen. So what's that tell you? That they don't know a lot about hitting, and they shouldn't have pranced around at these conventions and been speakers on hitting. Not when you come in last place on a regular basis. That includes you too, Kevin Long, and I don't care if you were with the Yankees. Every year you were with the Yankees, they went down 10 points in their slugging and batting average, which is a lot, by the way. But when you start at 290, when you started in the 1990s, and that team hit like 290 and went 10 points down until last year, it was like at 245 or whatever, which was close to the last in the major leagues also. Okay? Noted guru. So what can we say about this? And the other guys, the other hitting coaches, are in the MLB networking system, where they've worked in the minor leagues for a long time, or they've been a coordinator in the minor leagues, which we have found out is one of the safest positions to have as a hitting coach, because you're not coaching a team, and there's no numbers surrounded by you. So a lot of these gurus, get to be coordinators, and that's where they get their guru status, because they can go around and talk about hitting all that they want. But when it's come to Jesus time and they actually coach a particular team and the numbers come in and they're hitting 245 or they're near last place, then you know for sure that they're not a guru, that they're a false prophet. So most of the major league hitting coaches are stand-in guys, are false prophets. This is what we're finding out. It's almost like a political networking system. It's unbelievable when a major league team, general managers, the fans of a city want to get the best type of offense on the field, and they hire these guys that are more politicians and speakers of what sounds like the truth, but they're not getting any results, than anything else. And the crazy thing about it is, all these guys get fired within 1 to 2 years of wherever they are, unless they happen to land on a winning team, which rarely happens. Then they get fired and they resurface onto another team. And they keep doing this over and over and over until a lot of them are probably retired, or maybe get, a recall back as a coordinator, and then they're safe for a while. It, folks, is unbelievable if you are a fan of hitting. The broadcast that they yelp about as far as how to hit, the mechanics of hitting, what they do to try to get hitters to hit. And then they try to educate us people, the hitters, the high school coaches, the travel coaches, the minor league coaches, the college coaches. So whatever's not working for them, they spit their truth out to us and we absorb it, and the same thing happens to us, if you know what I'm saying. Is this a conspiracy? I don't think anybody's trying to do this, but the conspiracy part is image. Because the major league teams want their image. If they're not going to be able to win, they want their image to look as best as they can. So they get these politically correct hitting coaches who talk the talk and speak the speak until they're really thrown out in the limelight, and the numbers come in, and they come in near dead last place or hitting 250 or whatever, and then they got to get rid of them and get another limelight type of guy. Somebody who used to play in the major leagues who knows nothing about coaching or teaching, or some type of a guru. This is what's happening. Unbelievable. So we've went in, and if you haven't figured out by now, as a team hitting specialist, I go in and help teams hit better. We increase their team batting average and team slugging percentage within 1 season's time. Basically, we unravel all the crap that these players have probably learned from information that comes down from the major leagues. And since I've been doing this for over 20 years, I'm pretty darn good at unraveling, seeing what all the crap is, unraveling it, and then installing the right types of methods. It's as simple as that. So what's going on? What type of crap is being taught to these minor league hitters who maybe get a cup of coffee in the major leagues and never can make it? Or now the major league hitters, because the heat is on all these hitting instructors who need to get their teams to hit, because over 20 out of the 30 teams are hitting like 250 or lower in the major leagues, and now the heat is on, so they're really trying to crank in and try to teach them, getting into the video analysis, getting into the swing reports, getting into pitch count selection reports, how somebody should be thinking on a certain pitch count, getting into what types of pitches and what locations the guys are swinging at bad pitches and stuff like this. All this over information that just stifles the hitter. Inabilities to correct bad habits and stances and swings by these hitting coaches who are supposed to be the top notch in the country. Teaching, over-teaching, we should say, situational hitting, push swings, hit and run swings, fly ball swings in practice, using batting machines instead of live arms to help hitters with this situational hitting and two-strike hitting crap that goes on. When we know that batting machines ruin people's timing big time when overused. Unbelievable. These are some of the things. Starting their swing is usually the biggest culprit. Nobody knows how the most effective way to start a swing with power, efficiency, and body control. So most of the guys are thinking you start your swing with your back foot. You put your back heel up into the air. Doesn't work. Drive your back knee into the ball. Those are small muscles. Foots, knees, small muscles, lack control. Doesn't work. Drive the knob of the bat to the ball. Doesn't work. You're using small muscles in your hands and you have to be incredibly strong to do that. So for the majority of the guys, doesn't work. Widen out your stance for a larger base. Takes away your hip power. Doesn't work. This is what's being taught. I'm just telling you right now. Okay? Unbelievable stuff. These are the same things that when I go in to fix a team, they tell me that they've been learning. And then I quickly unravel it. Do the exact opposite in some cases as to what the major league hitting coaches are teaching their players. And then we can get, instead of 2, maybe 3 hitters to hit in a lineup like major league teams can, only 2 or 3 hitters can hit 270 or higher and 15 bombs or higher. 2 players, 2 to 3 players in a lineup. And these hitting coaches are working with 12 to 15 guys. You can only tell me that you can supervise 15 guys and only 2 of them can really, really hit. When we go in and we find the teams kind of find us, yeah, we only got about 2 guys that can hit, 2 to 3 guys. And we go in and help twice as many of them to hit. Like 6 to 8 in a lineup to be able to hit. Just by unraveling the crap teachings that they've gotten before and installing the correct types of methods that some people think that are revolutionary, but I think it's just simple science. Now, what else do I have to say about this? I cannot believe that teams in major leagues are hitting 250 and slugging hardly over between 350 and 400. Your slugging percentage should be about close to 130, 150 points over your team batting average. They're not even, most of these major league teams are not even close. So the power numbers are going down big time. These hitting coaches are shortening up these guys' swings, less of a load and more quick hands to the ball, and we know that that method is very, very popular out there, but it does not work, and it only works if somebody's fantastically gifted, and those guys don't even listen to anybody anyway. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, the basis of this research, is to tell you this. Do not look to the major leagues or anybody who big leagues you, who has played in the minor leagues, played in the major leagues, or whatever, and pretends that they can teach this very specialized skill of hitting, which hitting is the most misunderstood and mysterious skill in sports to ever figure out. As a matter of fact, you won't be able to figure it out in a couple of lifetimes if you had it. So quit trying to figure it out on your own and quit trying to use these players as guinea pigs as what you think should be happening. Who am I to say this? I'm a gifted specialist. This is my gift from the baseball gods, if you want to say it, who can see and correct habits and has, by God's grace alone, figured out the correct methods to hitting. And we can do it very quickly. And I wouldn't be making all these articles and these videos if I wouldn't be able to do this. Because hitters and coaches don't have a lot of time to figure out hitting and to go down south with their offense. Because if you're a hitter and you're slumping, you could be out of the lineup within 1 year's time and maybe never ever get a chance. It could be your career. If you're a coach or a hitting coach and your team keeps slumping, same thing with you. So if you want to go out and try to figure out what hitting's all about out there, and try to figure it out through video analysis and go and trying to figure out all your gurus and stuff like that, go right ahead. Go right ahead. But I'm telling you, this is probably this. I equated the hitting to like a Rubik's cube, figuring it out. Okay, and when it all got figured out, it was so simple, like a 2-3 step process. The only challenging part is correcting all the bad habits from what's been placed in the baseball guru hall of fame of people who think that they know things about hitting. These players at the major league level on down to your travel ball level should be able to hit 50 points higher. Their potential is to hit 50 points higher in their batting average and slugging percentage. That is their potential for most of these players. And most of them, a lot of them, are sometimes 30 to 50 points under what their God-given ability is. What you see what's going on in Major League Baseball is underachieving with the hitters, and it's not all their fault. It's the educational system that they're getting, especially at the college level and in the minor leagues. These players are more talented than they were in the Ted Williams era. They're stronger, they're bigger, they're faster. They should be putting up the big numbers. Why was there a steroid era? Because in the 70s and the 80s, the same thing was going on that's going on right now. They couldn't hit. So they all got bored. And somebody figured out that steroids is gonna help them out. And it did. And now we're coming off of that, and now we're back to the 70s and 80s. And guess who are the hitting coaches? The hitting coaches who played in the 70s and 80s when hitting really, really stunk. What did we say? Back in 1972, that's when baseball hitting was almost at its all-time worst. Okay? In the 70s and the 80s, those decades weren't too much better. And now we're back to square one again. So whatever information was going on in those 2 decades has to completely be erased. The Charlie Lau stuff, all the stuff that came out of that era has to completely be erased. We can actually get back to putting up numbers to what happened in the steroid era, Major League Baseball players, teams, owners, if you get the right type of methods and technologies out there that we here at Moneyball HItter Magazine have. We've proven it. And the only way that we can prove it is if we go out and work with teams. We're team hitting specialists. We do not hide behind academies. We do not hide behind being a coordinator of something. We do not hide behind video instruction. We do not hide behind speeches that we go around and making. If we're any good, we prove it by going out and working with teams. What was your team batting average last year? What was your team slugging percentage last year? How about the year before that? Okay, we see a trend. Now our goal is to get you at least 50 points better this season. We're going to unravel all the crap that you've learned, throw in the methods, and it's all going to happen quick because it's only 1 to 2 to 3 steps that we have to take to do this. So I already knew what was going on in the major leagues. But I wanted to go in and do all this research, and I wanted to show you. And I showed you with articles, videos, guys speaking, exactly what's going on, why it's not working, what's the confusion, what's the information, and misinformation. Okay? I did that in pretty good detail. If you're watching this right now, go ahead and just pick your favorite team. There's only a couple of teams that I said some really nice things about. Just go in and pick your favorite team, or any team, and look at my analysis of that team and why their hitting went south. Every team has probably a different reason as to why, but there's a lot of commonalities in it. Because these hitting coaches who think that they're creative and ingenious are really using a lot of the same methods. And it's a bunch of crap. So if you're going to look to major leaguers, major league hitting, major league coaches as your saviors to learn how to hit, I'm the one source to tell you that's the place you should not be looking. And we've proven it with our research that we have here. So that's all we got for you today. If you learned something from it, that's great. If you didn't, I know you found it interesting. It was my pleasure to go through all of the teams. We are still spitting out teams week by week, and we are sometimes even updating some of the teams with the trades and stuff that they acquire. And I'll let you know with some of the trades how much better or how much worse that I think that the team may get because of the trades and stuff like that. So all these teams know that they can't hit. They're trying to buy for whatever hitters are left out there, which is not a lot of them, and they're trying to make their offenses better. I don't think it's going to get much better, to tell you the truth. Okay? So, Mike Huber, Moneyball HItter Magazine. We will catch you next time. Thank you.